right now. There we go, Fred. Hello,
Hey.
everyone. This is Bobby C. from Anonymous Addiction at My Truth About AA, as Bobby C sees it. And this is another podcast for Anonymous Addiction podcast on YouTube. Now, tonight we have Fred, Neo Fred. He's a friend of mine that we hooked up probably about a year ago almost now, online with some of our common groups, which is natural law is one of our common groups.
Yes.
So we have a lot in common. So I asked Fred to come on the podcast because we're going to be talking about a lot of different varieties of topics. I'm going to let Fred say hi and let him just give a shout out to his friends over there in Canada. Fred's over there in Canada. He's in Quebec. So Fred, I'll give it back to you and just say hi to your friends out there.
Oui, moi c'est Fred. Pour les francophones qui vont écouter l'émission, probablement qu'il va y avoir des francophones. Je n'ouvre pas de prendre contact si vous trouvez mon. On pourra rajouter à la fin des choses. Yes, welcome to everyone in Canada. It's tough times now, and we need to keep it real, keep your head up. We don't have to do that. We have to fight it with everything you have, not just for yourself, for your family, for your friends. It's getting bad, but we keep our head up, people.
Well, Fred, it's great to see you again. And it's, we had a little lag time since we hooked up because you were busy. You were kind of taking a break. And I understand that. We were doing a couple podcasts together in the past, and I enjoyed always. Today we spoke a little bit, and I got to see your three daughters, your three little angels over there today. Fred has three daughters. I have two daughters. Mine happen to be a lot older than Fred's, but we have a lot in common, Fred and I. I'm gonna just open it up by saying that Alcoholics Anonymous to freedom without labels. This podcast we're going to be talking about addiction,
Yes.
What that means to us, moderation, abstinence, harm reduction, recreational use. Okay, there's people that they like drinking and using recreational drugs to for pleasure and a little escape, So I don't judge anyone. This thing here is about power of choice. I believe in the power of choice, whatever you choose, In some of my other next podcasts, we're going to be talking about the alcohol and the pharmaceutical industry, which is altogether another whole different ballgame. Because when I talk about the pyramids and the monopolies and the hierarchies, like the one I was in, Alcoholics Anonymous, for 30 years, we uncover, recover, and discover the truth about the lies that we've been told. And we're doing that about all the different addictions. We're going to get into a lot of other addictions that people don't even talk about. And I'm going to share why in Alcoholics Anonymous, people don't talk about those, or in the addiction recovery industry, because the addiction recovery industry wants just to focus on alcohol and drugs. This way it can monopolize the public. And this way they keep them in a box and they don't talk about any outside issues. But me and Fred are going to be talking about some. Fred, what do you think about addiction, drug use, alcohol use, marijuana use, any type of substance in your life?
Yes. Well, I would say that I completely agree with you on that. I agree for people who have the freedom to do whatever substance they want to. Okay, it's not about judging people. It's not about putting them in the boxes and calling them names. This is about growing and knowing. So there's like a few kind of use you can do like with recreative drugs. Okay, people call them drugs, but basically they are plants and mushrooms and things like that that grow directly in nature. It was already there before we discovered them. So you can go in history. There's a proof of cannabis use and mushroom use all over the history of man. It's everywhere. It's in the cults. Okay, when we're talking about Catholicism and Christianity, they have their own mushroom cult there. Okay, I couldn't go deeper in that because it's other subject by itself, but the study of the influence of the entheogen drugs. So we talk about psilocybin or cannabis. Okay, they are medical plants. You can eat it. You can transform it in oil. You can make clothes with it. You can make gas with it. You can like with hemp. Hemp is this plant is just fabulous. Okay, it's cannabis. It's not the cannabis we smoke, but it's the same, and it's a powerful plant. And there's actually a documentary or a movie or something. It's called God's Plant because it is. Okay, and I've seen this fabulous documentary about fungi and their implication in nature, and it's incredible.
Let me stop you right there, Fred, and just
Yes.
touch base on that, because I agree with all you're saying. The thing that I'm seeing today, though, I've been seeing it for years now, is when the government, like, in the olden days when Cheech and Chong, they said years ago, hey, let it be free. Don't regulate it. You want to grow it. Okay. But no, the government had to come in and they have to get the tax dollars. They got to create big farms. They got to monopolize it, and they got to control it. That's the type of pyramid that I'm talking about. That is destructive. That's more. Yes. That's the destructive end of it. More than so. What I'm getting at is the recovery alcohol and drug industry. The recovery industry itself wants us to focus on like us all the time and what we do, what we did, how bad we were, instead of focusing on the huge monopolies and the huge corporations that are the big problems. Okay, like even like the war on drugs, that was a big joke. Right. Yeah, I agree with you on that Fred. Cheech and Chong had it right years and years ago.
Yeah, they already knew all this stuff. That's why it's illegal, and that's one of the point I want to bring up. We wanted to talk about like soft, like plants that people smoke and people. It's like during thousands of years, people were using it like in a ritualistic way. They're using it like in all the time, but there was a time that when religion, the big religion, the new religion took over, the pagan and the cult there was a suppression of holistic knowledge about plants and things like that. So there was a war against holistic health and product.
Yes. Let me just touch base on that, because exactly right. I did a podcast just about that on Rockefeller medicine. Okay, Rockefeller took over. They hijacked the holistic medicine, holistic studies, holistic practices. They hijacked it and wiped it away and said it was quackery. They said it wasn't real, so they can pump in the pharmaceutical and all the other modern medicine that today is controlled. And they even took over the cancer industry, because there's money in it. You know, everything is
Yes.
about with the oligarchs. Everything's about money, money, power, prestige, money, power, prestige. Yeah.
Yes.
I just wanted to touch base on that. Go ahead. Go ahead. Back to you, Fred.
Well, I want to add to what you just said about power. Okay, power is not only about money. It's about knowledge. You know, it's all about knowledge. Everything. So if you don't know the world you're living in, you know, if you don't know about the the law of the land from these people and all these principles, these system, these laws, these lies, they're like spreading on the people, you know. And the thing I want to add about this is we don't need laws, we need principles, because laws are limiting your freedom all the time. So it had to be legal before they like forbidden it, you know. Yeah, it's this system is completely like arbitrary in nature, so it doesn't matter what their lobbying is doing. You know, we still have all the receipts, and we still have all the product. I can like find any oils or things like that anywhere. You know, it's pretty common. So
So,
you
so, so I could get into right there where you just left off. I'll get into then. Let's talk about the addictions that
yes,
a lot of the recovery industry don't want us to talk about. Just like this book that I've looked and studied for years and years and years. It's called The Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous. Listen to this. They have the 12 steps which control the body, mind, and spirit. They have the 12 traditions which controls the groups, and they have the 12 concepts which controls the world organization. A lot of people don't understand that or know that. Okay. Now, it's all about the control manipulation. Here's tradition 1 in the 12 traditions. Now, listen to this. So, we're talking about authority, addiction to authority. And that's what I'm talking about. This is an authority. Alcoholics Anonymous is an authority. Each member of Alcoholics Anonymous is but one small part of a great whole. AA must continue to live, or most of us will surely die. Hence, our common welfare comes first, but individual welfare follows close afterwards. In other words, if I don't follow this here, I'm going to die. It's just like the government. Exact same thing. This book is religion and government combined. Just to the audience, okay? Here's another one. Tradition 10. Now, this is what me and Fred are talking about, and I was talking about earlier, where the alcohol industry wants us to keep us in a trap and a prison and don't go beyond the alcohol and drug use that we have done. So they want to always focus on us. Here's 10. No AA group or member should ever, in such a way as to implement Alcoholics Anonymous, express any opinions on outside controversial issues, particularly those of politics, alcohol reform, and secular religion. The Alcoholics Anonymous groups oppose no one. Concerning such matters, they can express no views whatsoever. Tell me that doesn't sound like manipulation, control, it's enslavement.
yes. It's a mix between collectivism and statism.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. So getting back to that, touch base one, let's go further out of the Alcoholics Anonymous and tell us how that plays part in the, let's say, in politics.
Yeah, politics. Oh yeah, that's the favorite of everyone.
Divide and conquer.
Yes. You mean you talk about actual cults?
The divide
Like
and
the
conquer.
state?
come yeah, the
Yes.
statism, like Democrats and
Yes.
Republicans.
Yeah, the blue and red, the elephant and the donkey. You know,
Yeah.
this is the blue and red are like Freemason symbolism. It's duality, you know, and it's false duality. It's a piece. It's a theater for us to see. You know, it's nothing is legitimate there.
So it's all a scam. It's all a scam.
Oh, it is. Truly is.
And
It is.
Alcoholics Anonymous is a scam. Actually, I'll tell the audience that alcoholism is labeled a disease concept.
Wow.
It's 220 years old. Way back 220 years old, they labeled people alcoholics with alcoholism disease because they wanted to sell them a cure. And the cure was conformity,
Yes. Sure.
and enslavement to the society.
Yes.
Alcoholics Anonymous is nothing more. They talk about they talk about they don't want to talk about outside issues like alcohol reform. Alcoholics Anonymous is Rockefeller's temperance movement. If you study the history of the temperance movement, that's what Alcoholics Anonymous is. Because all the rich business people knew that when you got drunk, you didn't do good work. You didn't pay your bills. You didn't treat your wife and kids right. Okay? If you really got drunk, so they had to label you and find a place to put you and place you because they had to try to control the alcohol use for their businesses. That was their main. And Fred, you said it. I said money, but it's more power.
Yes.
And Fred mentioned something that is very, very important, and we're going to talk about that. Fred will talk about it even more than me. Is a cult is hidden knowledge. So
Yes.
we're demystifying, we're de-occulting things as we talk here. We're breaking down and giving the viewers knowledge, de-occulting Alcoholics Anonymous, governments, politics, religion. So the true knowledge, which I like to use the word common sense, natural law, just for the viewers that are just becoming aware of natural law. But Fred can go in depth with natural law. But
yes, this has many names.
Yeah, get back. Let's talk about that a little bit, Fred, with natural law.
Okay. So natural law have many names. It is in like many religion, you know, there's a reference there, and it's called natural law, hermetic principles, God's law. They are fundamental, immutable laws of universe. These laws are affecting us all day, every day, whether you believe in it or not. It doesn't matter. And I can tell you honestly how powerful this information is. Most people don't know about it. And this knowledge is actually empowering you as a human being, as a being, physical being, as a spiritual being. It does both, just by understanding and understanding the principles. It's fairly simple.
Let me stop you right there, Fred, because we talked about this labels. Okay, yes. So when Fred mentions the word spirit, spirituality, yes, natural law, universal law, of course, we're going to hear some feedback from atheists, mm-hmm, yes, agnostics that don't believe in the metaphysic world. They don't believe other than body and mind. Okay. Well,
Yes.
so labels tend to separate us in a sense, but me and Fred believe this stuff, okay? Because we know it's true. Matter of fact, we don't believe it. Me and Fred
We
don't,
know it.
we know it. Okay?
That's it.
So we don't have to believe it. I got chills just by saying that.
Yes.
And people that study these different things, even a lot of atheists and agnostics that were atheists tend to go towards the spiritual realm now because it's actually scientifically proven.
Yes.
Even with quantum physics, energy, vibrational energy, we could talk about all different types of metaphysic phenomena that occur that we know
You're,
are true.
yes, you're talking about the meta. You're talking about what the science is calling the spiritual, and the invisible is calling this the metaphysic. But
Right.
the term change all the time. But
Right,
it's all
right.
the same
I'm
thing.
just using I'm using that because
Yes.
certain people might have heard of that. Okay, you can use
Yes.
any term you like. So I'm using even the word atheist.
Yes.
That's a label. I
Yes.
I don't tend to label myself because other people are going to label me anyhow. They're going to label me what they perceive me to be. Right. So
Yes.
getting back to labels, that's why I alcoholic, addict, powerlessness, all these labels, druggie, all these labels that society
Yes.
has stigmatized us with. They're off of my list. I had a habit 37 years ago. I'll admit that I did have a habit, not dangerous, but it could have been dangerous, but an alcohol and a touch on drug habit. But I chose to get help with that. I said yes to help. And I don't even have to talk about it because that was 37 years ago. I don't have to celebrate it today because today I'm doing things that I'm supposed to be doing anyhow.
Yes.
Trying
I
to
just
follow this
I just want
natural
to
law.
add something about natural law and atheism. Okay. The thing is, when you consider yourself an atheist, it means that you worship something else. Okay, I'm just gonna leave it that there for people to think about it. Okay, so if you take a look at natural law by the scientific method, they're all provable, all observable. So it doesn't matter what you think. So the universe and us are connected. We are the same. We have cycles. We have rhythm. We have correspondence. Everything that you have inside you is coming alive around you. That's it. If you want to look into the influence of consciousness on matter, everything is there for you to go on YouTube and look at the double slit experiment. They have a lot of that's the mentalism principle, the principle of mentalism there. That was the one that science was like really tricky on this one, but since these experiments were proven out of any doubt that consciousness is actually influencing the physical world.
Yes, yes. And getting
Yes.
back to the atheist, let's just say agnostic, yes. Atheist, in Alcoholics Anonymous, there's yes. a group of people that left. They didn't leave. They just left the meetings and created their own meetings called atheist and agnostic meetings, free thinkers meeting. But they're still in the same church. They still go to Alcoholics Anonymous. So they're still addicted. They're still worshiping authority. So just like you said it perfectly. What are you still worshiping? You're still looking at something. So the agnostic and atheist and alcoholics, they're still going to the church. They're the same. They're different wings of the same bird, which is the control mechanism of Alcoholics Anonymous, which is always going to dominate through their religion and control mechanism. And it's actually connected to the government because the government sends people to Alcoholics Anonymous, mandates them, and they mandate atheists, agnostics, Buddhists, the Jews, whatever you are. They'll send you to the religious. You know, you get sent to an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting. You got to hold hands after the thing. You don't have to, but they say the Lord's Prayer. They say the 7th-step prayer. They say the 3rd-step prayer. They say the 11th-step prayer. They have a prayer of the Assisi. They have the Serenity Prayer. I mean, come on.
It's worshiping.
It's worshiping. It's exactly.
Right.
So worshiping, that's the thing that we're talking about. Who are you worshiping? Are you still addicted to the dialectic right, left? Are you still addicted to the government's, the authority, the religion, the Hollywood, the media, the TV,
Yes.
the cell phone, whatever?
I had something about this.
Yes.
I just want to talk about this. I have, there's exactly one point I want to bring. This is, I don't have any credit for that. It comes from my mentor, Mark Passio. I just want to share his wonderful knowledge. This is what it's that he's calling oh my God, identification by the ego. Sorry about that. So you identify yourself, your being, as a role, as a name, as a job, as a career, or something else. You are not that. You are not what your culture imposed to you.
I love that. I love that.
This is why everything is called a program. When you listen to TV, you listen to a program.
I love that. You know why I love it? Because exactly when you raise your hand in an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting and say, I am an alcoholic, you are identifying yourself to what they choose you to be.
Yes.
So that's your identity. You're placing you are not an alcoholic. You are not an addict. That's not your identity. So I agree with that 100%. Yes.
It's incredible. It's incredible. And you know, there's a thing when you study the occult, because there's a big part of psychology and understanding. When you understand nature, you understand the self, and vice versa. You understand the self, you understand nature. So
Exactly.
nature is spirit.
Hey, when I take my shoes off and I get grounded on the beach, and when I'm right next to that ocean, or when I walk into the woods, or when I touch a leaf, or when I smell a rose, or when I see a bird or hear a bird,
Yes.
I'm getting chills by just talking about it, because I'm with the spirit there. I'm with nature. I'm with Mother Nature. Yes. I feel good. I feel cleansed. I feel refreshed. I'm always looking into nature for relief.
Yes.
Back to you, Fred.
Yes. And this connection there, this is what they want to break. So if we disconnect from nature with the cell phones and all these things that are like taking our attention away from the real things of life, you know. And I realized that in the last years of my life, how important the little things were, you know. These little things you put aside because you think they are insignificant, you know, like
yes,
your own happiness and the health of your body, how you take care of your body, how you take care of your consciousness and your mind and your spirit.
Yes,
there's incredible like responsibility that are attached to it.
They want to keep us trapped in prison and enslaved. They want to keep us trapped in prison and enslaved. Okay, why do you think they call it cell phones? They want to place us in a cell. I'm in a cell. Come on, look, I'm admitting that I got I got an issue a lot of times with this here cell phone. It's a cell phone. It
Yes.
keeps me in prison. I'm addicted to a lot of different things.
Just give me 1 minute.
Go ahead, Fred. Yeah, Fred has 3 children, and he homeschools them actually over there in Canada. And this podcast, I'm glad Fred came on because we have a lot in common. We haven't hooked up in about a couple months, but Fred will be right back with us. This is real. This is authentic. This is spontaneous, and I don't have to edit this because I could just go on and talk about the trap, the prison. That's why we collect coins in Alcoholics Anonymous. We collect coins to bind us. I remember having a 1 day. Now they have a 1 day coin. They have a month coin, 2 month coin, 3 month coin, 90 days, 1 year. The coins and the celebrations of this addiction phenomena keeps us trapped, keeps us enslaved, keeps us prison. So we don't have to look outside the box. We could just look always at, oh, look at me. I'm recovering. I'm recovering. Yes. You're recovered, people. You don't have any problem. Now let's start being recovered from all the rest of the things and all the rest of the lies that keep us in prison. That's what this program, Anonymous Addiction to Freedom Without Labels. That's where we're going. We're going there. Anonymous no more. Actually, I call it Anonymous Addiction, but we're going in a direction of anonymous no more. We don't need to be anonymous anymore. We have a voice. We can speak our truth. Back to you, Fred.
Yes. So what were you talking about? I lost the.
I was just talking about actually that this is real and this is authentic and we're spontaneous. You have children and you just had to go out, step outside and probably help one of the kids. No big deal. Getting back to natural law a little bit, I remember Mark talking about the 8th principle, which is care. Okay, giving our care and attention. Yes. Can you speak a little bit about giving our care and attention? And that's what you're doing right now. You gave your care and attention over to your child that needed it right then the second. Okay, and I could speak a little bit about that too. The 8th principle.
Yes. So actually, Bobby, this is what I think is driving this podcast. Actually, that's why we are there. And the principle there is it's double-sided. Without if you begin to do something and you don't go all the way, what's the deal about that? It's about it's and care. You have two kind of care. You have the care of the self and you have the care of the others. The care of the not of the others. I'm taking it back. You have the care of the all, and you have the care about the people around you. There's two. Yes, and everything care is all about love.
Care everything, is about care.
Everything.
Care is. Let me just say this. How it works. Step 3 in Alcoholics Anonymous. Listen to this. Made a decision to turn my will and my life over to the care of God as we understand him. See, they want to take our care, which is one of the most important principles. Whatever my attention goes, the energy flows.
Yes.
So if you put your attention into these steps, into AA, because actually they're saying Alcoholics Anonymous wants to take care of you. Just like the government wants to say, the government wants to take care of you. Yes. The religions say, I want to take care of you. No, you're not going to take care of me. I'm going to take my will, which is a gift given to me, and I'm going to direct my care in the direction and the focus and the energy and the attention I choose to go.
Yes. and I just want to bring my opinion there and talk about these overused word, and they're used badly most of the time. I just want to bring that there because it made me realize a lot about the importance of what you're saying and what you're telling to people, what you communicate to them, because it's all energy there. So what was bringing?
The energy goes, the energy flows, the energy, the vibration, the power. We give the attention, whatever the mind can conceive and believe it can achieve. They try to take that away from us, and we're not going to.
Oh yeah, sure.
We're not going to allow it.
Yeah, well, I want to bring. Yes, that's it. I remember now. I wanted to bring a word and explain what I think it's the true meaning of it. There's unconstitutional love, unconditional love. Okay, unconditional love is love for the all. And if you people don't know, I am talking a language there. The all is the creation, the universe, the world we're living on. Unconditional love is love of the all. Because
not conditioned. Not conditional
yes.
love. Conditioned
So
love is different.
Unconditional means that you really care and you really love creation, the trees, the animals, the people you have around you, a sunset, a sunrise, a wind, when you fight for this, what I've been through my shadow work and introspection, what you want is to get back to home, get back home and just clean the place. And we're talking about addiction there. It's directly connected there, directly there. You to heal addiction, it's to shadow work and trauma healing is accepting what is. Okay, you cannot change the past, you cannot do anything about it, so you have to like let it go and live in the now and being grateful for what we have. When you wake up in the morning and you see your wife or your children, that's what true value is, you know.
Yes.
And it's care.
Yes.
Yes.
What Fred just said, he just articulated, that was beautiful because that's what we're talking about. We're gonna start start wrapping it up here, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much, Neo Fred over there. Fred speaks 2 languages. Okay, I only speak 1. So I admire you for that in itself. So we're gonna connect back up probably in a couple of weeks, me and Fred, and do a little part 2 on
Why
this.
not?
Yeah, because I love being with Fred. So I'm going to say goodbye to everyone. So check out Anonymous Addiction, this new podcast, and go to Facebook, Anonymous Addiction at My Truth About AA, as Bobby C sees it. Fred, I'm going to let you leave and say goodbye.
Perfect. Thank you, Bobby, again for inviting me. It was a pleasure. I'm come back when you want to, man. Just give me a call, whenever you want. And je veux juste dire aux frères francophones qui écoutent la chose que ça y va. OK, on est en train de s'organiser, on est en train de vivre des affaires. Il faut pas lâcher, nous autres les Québécois, on se fait marcher dessus. On lâche pas, on baisse pas les bras, on baisse pas le menton, on fonce. Fait que merci beaucoup, thank you.
Take care. See you, Fred.
Bye.
Bye-bye.